Oil crisis. Another meeting of oil ministers of the OPEC countries took place, in which the principles of abandoning quotas and price coordination were confirmed. As a result, oil prices began to fall rapidly. Ah, shit. Such a sharp drop in oil prices can harm our economy. I know this. In all of this, the Americans and Saudis are also clearly involved, which is why we must simply react as underhanded below. I need money. Double oil production. It's going to give me $75 right now. Accelerate preparation for economic reform. Accelerate preparation for economic reform. Rescue the economy from the crisis will appear in August and not December. Sure. The oil crisis clearly confirmed the complete failure of the bet on the petrodollar, which the Soviet leadership had previously tied to use to support the economy. After that, joint commission was convened. Okay. We are poor, man. Everyone hates me. Who would have thought that playing a simulator where you play a country in decline would lead to things being in decline constantly? The Gulf War. In 1979, the Islamic Revolution took place in Iran. Muslim clergy, led by Ayatollah Khomeini, came to power. Seizing the moment of crisis, Iraq's leadership, Saddam Hussein, launched a small victorious war, hoping to quickly seize Iran's oil-rich regions and occupy them. The outbreak of the Iran-Iraq War caught the Soviet Union off guard. The USSR was intended to bring both Iraq and Iran into its sphere of influence, so this event threatened to undermine all Soviet plans. The first policy adopted by the Soviets as a countermeasure was a policy of strict neutrality. The USSR reduced arms shipments and related products to both sides, striving to act as a mediator in the peace negotiations. Officially, such proposals were repeatedly rejected by the Iranian regime, but Saddam Hussein was also unwilling to negotiate without securing control over Iran's oil reserves. Soviet Union's unsuccessful attempts at reconciliation threatened to rapidly increase American influence in the region, forcing Soviet leadership to change tactics. Considering Iraq to be a more negotiable party, and fearing the spread of Islamic revolution from Iran, the Politburo of the CPSU decided in 1982 to provide covert support to Iraq with the modern weapons and billions in funding through offshore accounts and the Warsaw Pact allies. At the same time, Moscow openly engaged in joint economic programs with Iran and broadcast proposals of reconciliation through the Iraqi Communist Party. Tehran, while agreeing to economic cooperation, responded with a wave of repression against pro-Moscow factions in the Tudeh party. Communists who had taken a legalist, constructive opposition stance until the party's leadership was arrested and forced into televised confessions. Meanwhile, the Anatolia adopted a strategy of stalling negotiations. But from 1985 onward, the situation began to change dramatically and took a negative turn. A series of failed offensives and counter-offensive by both Iraqi and Iranian armies exhausted Iraq's war machine, but not Iran's. Now the entire Middle East policy may spiral out of control. Preliminary reports indicate Iraq's armed forces could collapse under the onslaught of Iran's troops, threatening to establish a hegemony of Shiite radicals in the region. Radicals who see us as enemies of the Islamic Revolution, godless infidels, and imperialists. We have no choice but to urgently seek a new political strategy in this year-long conflict. We can do nothing. We can try to side with Iran or with Iraq more. But this costs money, doesn't it? Yes. I don't have money. But Iran, I think, would be a better ally. Like, who likes you? US, Saudi Arabia, UAR, Qatar, Germany, UK, Italy, France. Morale inside of Iraq minus 100, monetary reserve minus 50. Relationship with the state of the United States, negative 100. So the United States goes down to 0, and Iraq will immediately leave ComCon. Or I do nothing. I mean, I kind of don't like either choice. Don't do anything. We'll wait. We'll wait to see how this war develops, and then we'll choose a winning side at the end. Maybe that'll work. Maybe. Congress. The Congress of the CPSU is officially declared open. It is to be elected to elect a new composition of Central Committee to serve the next 5 years. However, there's a way to make sure some disagreeable party members would not participate in the elections. But who exactly? Neo-Stalinists, conservatives, liberals. Proceed peacefully. We get 50 points off of this. 72, 48. I think most. Again, we're gonna take our hands off this. Congress meeting schedule, no significant change took place. Okay. Yavzal's been elected. The threat of financial crisis. Yeah. You're not wrong about that. Okay. General Secretary of Treasury is becoming scarcer by the day. His reserves are being depleted. There's not enough money and budget indicators are falling. Turn on the printing press. Increase purchase prices for goods. Take it a loan, take it a loan, take it a loan. I mean, I can't get the military to hate me more. Like that's not going to work for us. But you're also not good. Increase prices of goods? This only lasts like 3 months at best. Increase prices. Our government decree on the reform of retail prices and social protection of the population established uniform amounts for the entire country to increase retail prices for essential goods and services. The sharp rise in prices for everyday goods and services has seriously affected the well-being of the population. Look, okay, I'm poor. What do you want me to do? Also, it didn't add 100. It just set this to 100. Which is less great. We're at negative 15 right now. We could cut diplomatic support. For the time being. Even though we're not happy about it. Even though we're not happy about it in the slightest. Soviet aviation under threat. March 1986 will go down in history as a turning point in the shadow war for Afghanistan. The administration of President Ronald Reagan, facing a protracted Soviet presence in the region and growing international pressure, made one of the most significant and daring decisions of the Cold War era. The beginning of supplying the FIM-92 Stinger, a man-portable air defense system, to the Afghan Mujahideen. Until then, the USSR air superiority in the form of the 40th Army's Army Aviation and Mi-24 attack helicopters allowed the Soviet Army to contain the Mujahideen, control passes, and impunity attack terrorist camps. The situation changed with the start of Operation Cyclone, when, as part of the secret White House program, the first Stinger systems were transferred to Pakistan along with a group of instructors and translators, training local units in the use of high-tech weaponry. According to the National Security Advisor, John Poindexter, his name's Poindexter, really? The main argument was the Soviet aviation was key for their strategic initiative in the region, and by depriving the USSR of air superiority, it would be possible to make it difficult to hold positions in mountainous terrain. Okay. Very cool, very cool. Ah, shit. This is bad. This is bad. Pal Alliance. Like, we don't want to do this. Yeah, we can cancel our support for you. That'll save us, I think, at least a little bit of money. Terror against key individuals. Hell yeah. Begin the terror campaigns. We're doing okay here. We're doing okay in Angola as well. I keep wanting to call it Agnolia because we played so much freaking we played so much suzerain. Iran is winning in the Iran-Iraq war, so we'll see how that goes. So I need to increase the military budget to get the generals not to hate me anymore. Social industry sectors minus 6.9, ministers minus 2.1. Was it March that people said I can start appointing new people? I need someone in charge of the armed forces who likes me. Like, immediately. 64. Sympathetic to the moderates, unyielding, arbitrary, a firm hand. I need a general who likes me. It's gotta be somebody, right? Compromising, unambitious. Partycrat, sympathetic to conservatives, marketer. Moderates, reformers. No. I need idealist, firm hand, unambitious. But all the military guys hate me. Intrigue. Oh, so we want high intrigue and high thrift. Okay, good. Taxi, you've read that. High intrigue and high thrift. Who's not already in? Like, what are you? Like, if I appoint you to the Minister of Defense, is it on March? Not March 8th? I need to get this guy out of here. Okay. Previous. No labor income? Information has come in, okay, I'll just make sure my chat's, we're still streaming because sometimes it breaks. Information has come in that 3 colonels in the Krasnodar region have built themselves palace-like homes. They definitely couldn't have earned such luxuries through honest work. In our criminal practice, the concept of non-labor income has long been established, referring to income that's not linked to work in a socialist sector. Primarily, this includes speculation, currency operations, private entrepreneurship, private transportation, and bribery. Despite the state's desperate efforts to eradicate this phenomenon, the problem has not been fully eliminated. Moreover, many people who engage in part-time work during their free time, such as construction, apartment repairs, tutoring, and selling crops, often fall under the law's scope. The government is now proposing a decree on the measure to strengthen the fight against non-labor income, which involves a sharp intensification of anti-corruption measures, crackdown on falsifications, and shadow the economy, as well as the introduction of material accountability and income declaration requirements. In addition to tightening legislation, the decree will also encourage cashless transactions and allow for legislation of small private enterprises in rural areas. I mean, corruption going down is good. Reject it. Reject it. That costs money. I want corruption to go. I want corruption to go down for sure. Send it to revision? Ah, the second outcome. The bill was set for revision as many politicians deemed it too harsh. In the end, reformers succeeded in pushing through the legislation of individual entrepreneurship. Under the new law, individual labor activity in the USSR was used to be more fully met the public's need for goods and services, to increase citizens' employment in social useful activities, and to provide them with the opportunity to earn additional income in proportion to the labor expended. After this, individual labor activity was officially permitted, but only in one's free time outside the main work in strict defined areas. The use of hired labor was prohibited. Local authorities were instructed to assist small entrepreneurs in acquiring raw materials. Some politicians were calling this move a concession to petty bourgeois elements. The citizens generally welcomed the law's adoption. Okay. So we're still losing 45. Wars and economies minus 15. So you're plus 5. But you're negative 45. So maybe I don't know what this number is. To be quite honest with you, I thought plus 5 would make this plus 5, but it clearly doesn't. So I'm not too sure if I've made a mistake or something like that. Commissioner Katani. Economic corruption in the USSR by the early 1980s become an all-encompassing and, in exchange, or in essence, legal. Especially in Central Asia, where it was embedded into the system of traditional relationships. One of the most sensational events in the fight against corruption was the so-called Uzbek cotton affair. Cotton cultivation formed on the base of Uzbek's economy. The Golis plan constantly inflated the production targets for cotton, and Republican authorities proudly claimed that these targets would be met. And they were met, at least on paper. Across the country, trains ran with carriages filled, not with cotton, but also the waste from its processing, and sometimes even the refuse. Yet on documents, everything was clean. For non-existent cotton, real money was paid out of the budget. To investigate the matter, Igor Ligakov was sent, who influenced the election of Imagos Uzmonsoyayev, the successor of the first secretary of the Communist Party of Uzbekistan. In 1983, not without Andropov's sanction, an operation was to eradicate corruption in Uzbekistan began with the arrest of A. Muzarov, head of the OBKHS of the Bukhara Regional Executive Committee. The Allied persecution joined the case, and in September of 1983, a group of USSR persecuted investigated the corruption case. Okay. Arrests continued over the next 2 years, but it soon became evident that the threads of peripheral corruption cases against mid-level officials inevitably led to Moscow. Okay. Political authority, points minus 100. We do have the points for it. Sure. Carry everything out around the country. Law and order will go up. Civil activity. Arrests of corrupt officials continued, but now not only in Uzbekistan, but in all the eastern republics of the country. The ranks of mid-level officials were significantly thinned, with several ministers of major Republican agencies being arrested for corruption and malpractice. The purges against corrupt officials led to the unrest among the national elites of the republics, who often in recent decades have become accustomed to comfort and compromises in relation with the center. They hate me. They despise me. The bombing of Libya. In the early 1980s, relationship between Libya and the United States deteriorated sharply. The reason for numerous accusations from the Ronald Reagan administration against Muammar Gaddafi, who, according to the claims, supported international terrorist organizations. In December of last year, terrorist attacks took place at Israeli airline offices in Vienna and Rome. The United States accused Libya of organizing these actions. After that, relationship between the two countries worsened even further. Subsequently, after mutual shelling, the American side decided to launch targeted strikes on Libyan administration points. Gaddafi is one of our most important allies in Northern Africa. The USSR must do something. But should we support Libya in this conflict, our already uncivil relationship with the United States will worsen? I mean, we have to express protests. Okay, USSR expressed official protests against American actions, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who was supposed to go the routine negotiation, basically turned his plane back to Moscow. Okay. Now, I do know it says under 10, there might be a military rebellion. Pause the game for a second. Politics. Can I appoint somebody now, please? Thank you. Loyalty to the generals has to be above 50. What is the loyalty of the generals at right now? 10. Do I have to increase their budget? Probably 10 above 140. Loyalty of the soldiers. We can do 180. Because I need the generals so they can not want to kill me. Industry sectors. Is that okay, bring this back down. Is that you? Military industrial complex. What do I boost you by 2? How does that affect you at all? You're still negative 5.2. What about if we do a decision for the army? Army level, loyalty. Increase priority for military research. Reorient the army towards local conflicts. I want, I need the military to like me more. The army loyalty and military leadership loyalty are different. Basic income. Focus on quality. I mean, that sounds good to me. I'm just hoping we don't get queued, you know? Because that would be very embarrassing for us, wouldn't it? To get like a little... What the hell did I accidentally clicked on my thing. Whoopsie. Security structures, industry sectors, -6.7. Ministers, they really hate industry. Do we have military's tech going? Oh yeah, research you. Economic stimulation, other spending, influence. For every 10, we can just give the generals more money. Boost it up to 30? boost it up to 30, maybe? How does that affect anything here? I mean, it's not good. We have a lot of problems. Price in relation with the People's Republic of China. China again, man. Recent events led to aggravations. Okay, so this is the same thing we saw earlier. Send the army in. We urge alerted units in the far eastern military district to move them to the border. Our valiant army defeated the superior Chinese units. Also, I never pulled up my chat again because I accidentally clicked off of my page. I'm bad at this. I don't have money to give them a loan. Oh cow. See the failure to plan Chinese troops retreated. We'd love to see it. Our Vietnamese friends helped us in hitting Chinese in the rear. We'd love to see it. Don't go to war with China. Ah, fuck, it's Chernobyl. In the early morning, catastrophe occurred in the Chornobyl nuclear power plant. During the experiment of reactor number 4, the reactor went out of control, resulting in a powerful explosion that released massive amount of radiation. Classify the events as secret. Attempt to secretly eliminate the accident's aftermath. Ecology, attention. The effects will reduce every year. Well, actually, the effects will reduce every year. Apologies. Yeah, let's go with you. But it's gonna put us in negative money. I don't have cash. I'm poor. All of these will set me negative. So you know what? Let's go with you, maybe. I don't have to run negative cash. The government has made a difficult decision to immediately disclose the fact that the Chernobyl NPP accident. This caused shock and panic, both within the country and beyond its borders. However, despite the initial chaos, it was openness and swift action that allowed the situation to be brought under control. While Western media broadcast shocking images of a destroyed reactor and spoke of a nuclear apocalypse in the world, the authorities acted decisively, and a large-scale evacuation of the population from the affected zone was organized. Tens of thousands of people were moved deep in the country, away from the radiation threat. Simultaneously, an unprecedented operation to mitigate the accident's consequences began. Okay. Bankruptcy. Is the game over? The game's inability to curb the financial crisis led to... We lost. Oh, we lost. Can I load? We lost. I never saved. I lost the game. I collapsed the country in 1986. I did even worse. Well, very good. I mean, that was on what, realism? Even Gorbachev did better. Oh. Well, that was Crisis in the Kremlin. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's like a DLC maybe at some point. Quite fun. I would like